to go from there. The first guy up, and I'll start with our defensive backs, Demetrius Cox. And these are in alphabetical order by position as we go. But Demetrius Cox is a young man that very highly recruited player, plays multiple positions, played quarterback for them this year, but is a guy that plays safety, can play star for us in our nickel package. He can be a wide receiver as well. He could be a tailback, guy that benches 365 pounds, goes about 6'1", about 200 pounds already. Has scored his 1,000th point in basketball. Is a black belt in karate. Tremendous athlete, tremendous leader, I think, in the classroom and in his school. Been involved in almost every aspect of high school, from drama to everything else. He truly is a leader, and I think he's an impact player in all respects. He was recruited by Mark Staten here this recruiting class, this recruiting year. His coach is Roy Hall, guy I watched play basketball. Just can't say enough about him. He was one of the guys, the lead guys, and one of the guys that committed to us this past week. Outstanding football player, and I do believe that he will be an immediate contributor. Number 7, he will play for Michigan State next year. Jermaine Edmondson from Canton McKinley High School. Ron Johnson was his coach. Pat Narduzzi is the lead recruiting coach. I think it's important to recognize that all of our players, current players, all of our coaches, the position coaches, the coordinators, the recruiting area coach, and everyone that he touched has an impact on a young person deciding to come to a particular school. And Coach Narduzzi was his recruiter, but Harlan Barnett obviously had a big part in this as well, as he did with Demetrius Cox, etc. Jermaine's a young man that transferred from California to Canton McKinley, which arguably is one of the better schools in Ohio, nationally known. Plays in one of the top conferences in America, high school conferences, and seems like every time he touches the ball, great things happen. He camped here, runs it very, very well. He's a taller guy, great ball skills, tackling ability, plays wide receiver as well as a kick returner. Incidentally, all of our wide receivers and defensive backs and tailback all have kick returner, punt returner ability, which I think that's important to recognize as you lose a guy like Keyshawn Martin and some of our other returners that we've had so much success with. But as I said, Jermaine is an outstanding player and first team All-State. I don't have my glasses on, so I can't read all of this up here, but first team All-State performer in the state of Ohio, will be playing in the All-Star games as well, and I believe will be an immediate contributor as well on this football team. Both these players are outstanding in their respect and are highly recruited players. I believe that Cox could have went anywhere in America. Jermaine probably had it down to some variety of Big Ten schools, but probably had it down to Nebraska and us at the end. But outstanding football player, outstanding track guy as well. Mark Myers from Toledo, we had him in camp. Everywhere you talk about, anywhere you talk about in the state of Ohio, and they talk about Toledo Whitmer High School, who went to the semifinals, I believe, and lost to St. Ignatius, they talk about Mark Myers. Played safety at Whitmer, all over the field, another kick returner, punt returner, all over the field, was in camp, made plays in camp. Made a decision to offer him later in the process, but only because we didn't know him quite as well as a person as we moved through the process. There was no question in terms of his athletic ability and his hitting ability, and the more we watched him on film, the more we saw these things. Over 200 tackles in 2 years, and the guy is all over the place. Plays wide receiver as well. He's going to gain weight as he goes. He's thin, at 6 foot 180. But another guy that runs track and does so many different things. Whitmer is an outstanding program that I believe lost probably one game this year in the semifinals as we went forward. Recruited by Mike Tressel and Coach Palka, who was his coach up there down there at Whitmer. And again, Harlan Barnett had a large part to do with that, as did Coach Narduzzi and all of our staff in the process here. Ezra Robinson from Sarasota Booker High School, recruited by Coach Barnett. We did not have Ezra in camp. However, when you watch the film and you watch him as a junior, it's a guy that showed all the tangibles. That is the deep ball judgment, the ability to tackle in space, the ability to change direction and run in all respects, and he did an outstanding job, I felt, as in all respects as a defensive back. So he's another young man. I think all four of these guys, I'm a defensive back coach by trade. And really, since I've been here in '95, and since going to Ohio State and going to Cincinnati and coming back here for 5 years, I cannot think of a secondary that has more promise than this secondary coming into Michigan State at this point in time. They are extraordinary athletes with great hitting ability and tackling ability in space. They are all returners. Ezra is the same. He's an outstanding person. He's a 6'6" high jumper. He's a 44-foot triple jumper. So excels in track as well. And can't say enough about him as a person. I think it's important to know that we recruit like-minded people here, people that are very much like our players in many respects, and these guys fit with our players. That would be the defensive back group there. Last year, again, we signed 2 guys, Trey Wayne and R.J. Williamson, and we were able to redshirt those guys. So we have 6 really freshman defensive backs that will work this fall, and I think that's a great outlook for our football team in general as we move forward. Our linebackers, Riley Bulla is a guy that obviously he's a third-generation Spartan, and with his grandfather and his father playing here, his uncle playing here, they've all had tremendous success. Max playing here now, his brother. It's a guy that has grown over the course of the last 2 years. He's 6'2" at least, 220 pounds. He broke his collarbone early in the season after the 5th game, but had over 1,000 yards of offense at that point in time. He's a quick-bodied guy, tackles in space, has great ball skills. I've watched him play since coming here over a period of 5 years. I've watched Riley in camp demonstrate over and over the toughness, the aggressiveness, the competitiveness, the ability to catch the ball, run, move in space, and I think he'll be an outstanding football player here. And I really do think that he will be an immediate contributor as well, or at least have an opportunity to do those things. He's a very quick learner, and he's got great change of direction, great ability to snap on things. Played safety as a junior, quarterback, has grown into the outside backer position, so now he's big enough, firm enough, and he plays with tremendous effort throughout the entire game. So he will play for us move to the outside linebacker position, which he's going to be an outstanding player. Jamal Lyles, the young man we saw at the Sound Mind and Body Camp down in Detroit. 4-star player. You guys can read up on all these different accolades, but Jamal's a young man that, again, great ball skills, plays tight end, plays quarterback, wide receiver, tight end, flex tight end, outside backer, even played a little defensive back, I think, as a junior. Has grown to 6'3", 230 pounds, has great ability to run, and I think he projects into a great football player for us. Was coached by Stephon Thompson. Brad Salem was the lead recruiter there, and should do a tremendous job for us. But really excited about Jamal coming here. Had a lot of other opportunities as well, and tremendous upside. When you look at him, he has the ability to possibly grow into a defensive end and be 250 pounds if you look at his father. If you look at him right now, he's very similar probably to Taiwan Jones, who we recruited last year. Outstanding athlete in that respect. Taiwan was the one freshman that got on the field for us last year. Again, we recruited 2 linebackers this year, 4 last year, with Ed Davis, L.T. Thomas, Taiwan, and Darian Harris. So we were able to redshirt 3 of those guys. So 5 freshman linebackers working in August next year. The one defensive lineman that we recruited, David Fennell, a little bit of a unique recruiting story. His father played for the Alouettes, and Jim Popp basically is the GM for the Alouettes. Former head coach goes to Oregon. They decide to get him down to the U.S. to play his last year high school football. Just a tight circle, really, in terms of the people that we know. Ted Gill coached for the coach that eventually went to Oregon, the crazy circle. But David Fennell became out of nowhere, became an all-conference player, all-state player, and the MVP in the conference his senior year. Great technician. His father played 10 seasons and is in the Hall of Fame in the CFL. But great hands, great footwork, great punch. Plays extremely hard, has the ability to change direction and run things down. Played at 280 pounds at that point in time. He weighs about 270 right now. But I think he will be a tremendous football player for us and be a three-technique defensive tackle for us as we move forward.